Coming up this hour on American Graduate Day, a trio of award-winning journalists. From NBC News, Rahima Ellis. From the PBS NewsHour, Hari Srinivasan. And from CBS Sunday Morning, Jane Pauley.
Hi there! This is Elmo from Sesame Street. Boy, Elmo's so excited because it's American Graduate Day! Yay! Boy, graduate is a big word. Elmo had to ask his mommy what it means, and she told Elmo that a graduate is somebody who finishes school. Boy, that's so cool! Elmo can't wait to go to preschool and meet new people and learn new things. And then one day, graduate. Boy, when Elmo grows up, he wants to be a teacher. Then Elmo can help other people learn too. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, Elmo can't wait. Become an American graduate champion. Elmo will one day. Bye-bye. Elmo loves you.
We love you too, Elmo. Everybody loves Elmo. And I'm sure you'll do just fine in preschool and make lots of new friends. Hi, everybody. I'm Rahima Ellis, and it's great to be back here on American Graduate Day. In this hour, we'll be discussing the importance of caring, consistent adults in all children's lives. It's especially important when one or more parents is missing from the household. The organization, Big Brothers Big Sisters, has led the way in providing that missing adult presence in a family for more than 100 years. They're the nation's largest donor and volunteer-supported network, with 500,000 people participating. They pair adult volunteers with young people ages 6 to 18 years old. This program has really enriched the lives of not only the child or the little, but also the adults or bigs. And joining me in the studio now is an amazing example of how well this program can work. Our big is Daryl Blackburn, and his little is Jalen Dennis. Thanks so much to both of you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Rahima, for having us.
Daryl, let me start with you, because now you're a big.
Correct.
And you got introduced to Big Brothers Big Sisters when you were only 8 years old, and you were paired with a couple, which I think is really extraordinary. And how fortunate. How did that work?
That's correct. My mom signed me up when I was 8 years old. I grew up in inner city Houston, and I met Greg and Barbara for the first time. And it was just an amazing experience, just because, you know, I had never really been a part of a family at that time, you know, of a true, married couple. I got to see how he treated her, and they just took me all over the city, and they showed me things that I would have never otherwise, you know, been able to experience at that time. And it was just an incredible experience for an 8-year-old. And it's one that I look back on now and I think, wow, you know, where would I be had it not been for their just 1 hour a week.
And did you know back then what an extraordinary opportunity you were being led into?
You know,
I mean, at 8 years old?
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't realize it then. You know, I just thought it was just people who really wanted to spend time with me. And then I look back on it now and I thought how impactful it is for someone to just take, like I said, an hour a week of their time, whether it was just to bring me lunch at school, take me to a baseball game, take me to the movies, or just bring me over for family dinner and play with their dogs. Whatever it was, I didn't care what it was. It was time spent away from my neighborhood, away from those negative influences, and in a positive atmosphere.
What did that mean to you as you were growing up? How did that influence your career and your aspirations for a career?
Absolutely. Well, you know, my bigs coincidentally were in the oil and gas industry at the time, and that, you know, they kind of told me then, you know, they knew that I was good at math and science, and they said, you know, you'd become an engineer one day. You should just focus on school, and maybe you can even be an engineer. So
they started planting seeds.
They planted that seed, and it began to grow when I didn't even know that they were watering it that entire time, and it came to fruition. And you know, and just that time spent dating back to 1997 or whenever, you know, those were times, you know, that I could have been easily influenced by you know, gang violence, drug use, things like that. But they took me away from that. And I look back on it now, and I know it's the most influential entity that I can attribute my academic success to.
And then when you went off to college, Oklahoma University, 18 years old,
That's right.
You did something really extraordinary.
That's
what
right.
did you do?
Well, as soon as I got to University of Oklahoma, I was 18 years old. And you know, 18-year-old kids at that time, all they want to do is have fun and party and And, you know, there's a place for that. But from what Greg and Barbara had done for me to up until that point, it was inherent for me and innate for me to give back. I knew I had to give back. And the first thing I did was look for the Big Brothers organization that had the branch in Oklahoma. I signed up, and around October or so of my freshman year, that's when I met Jalen, who happened to also be 8 years old, just like I was when I was matched.
A great segue takes me right to you, Jalen. Your mother, as Daryl said, signed you up. You were 8 years old. Did you go willingly or reluctantly?
It was reluctantly. Like, my mom just signed me up for it because I didn't really have that much of a father influence in my life, and so I'm sure she wanted me to have like a brother to be like by my side and give me that man influence.
And did it end up having that kind of an impact in your life?
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
I guess so, or you wouldn't be sitting here with Daryl, right?
Yeah.
But how important was it for you?
It was really important. It gave me someone to talk to. He helped me with my homework when we were at school. He would eat lunch with me and just hang out with me and my friends, and we'd have a great time.
And Daryl, when you think about it, what was your goal when you said, I want to pair up with a young man?
Exactly.
What were you hoping would happen for Jalen?
Right. Well, coming from personal experience, I know how easy it is for a kid that age to be able to take the wrong path. I know how easy it is to go the wrong way. So I said, you know what, I'm going to find that one kid that had a similar experience for me growing up in a single-parent home, and I'm going to stick with him. And that's what I did. I made a promise to him when he was 8 years old that, you know, no matter what happens, no matter what comes, his way or our way, you know, I'm going to stick with you. Whether it was homework, he didn't have to do homework by himself. Whether it was, you know, someone to talk to, like you said, you know, to talk about, you know, things at school or girls or how to act a certain way in certain environments. He didn't have to do that by himself. And I promised him that I was going to stick with him the whole way. And here we are, senior year of high school.
Senior year of high school. How's he been?
Amazing. Like, he's always pushed the idea that college is like awesome. And so I've always just pushed to go to college.
You pushed to go to college, and did you have an idea of what you wanted to do when you got there? It's okay if you don't, but did you
I
have an idea?
Well, at the time I didn't, but now I do. And
what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about acting and chemistry. I might double major, but definitely chemistry, because that's like a realistic goal.
And the acting, too, is pretty much in your future, if you want it to be, which is another segue back to Daryl, because you did something again when you found out that you've known all along what his interests have been, because you've been with him since he was 8 years old.
Right.
And you spent a summer with this young man.
Right. Well, I knew he loved acting, but I know how difficult it is to kind of break into that field. So I said, you know, I found a summer program for him in Houston, and you know, I said, hey, if you're willing to put the time in and put the work in to make this thing, you know, really a success, you know, I was willing to invest in him. So I signed him up in an organization this past summer. So we spent 5 weeks with me in big city Houston, Texas, coming from Norman, Oklahoma. So I signed him up, and it was a great experience for him, I think.
One of the things, too, I want to talk about is how this you seem to have a continuum here of relationships. Your bigs even flew in when you graduated from college.
Absolutely, absolutely. That was they're the most supportive people that you could ever meet.
We could talk forever, but they're telling me we're out of time.
Oh,
so
no.
Thanks to both of you for being with us. Right now, there are more than 3,000 little ones who really are waiting for bigs to mentor a young person. You can sign up to become a big brother or a big sister. As you saw today, it doesn't get much better than that. You can go to americangraduate.org to find out more. Now, let's head back to Texas for our next stories of champions. KACV Amarillo brings us Shanna Peebles, a National Teacher of the Year winner and a true champion for her work with immigrant and refugee students.
The 2015 National Teacher of the Year from Amarillo, Texas, Shanna Peebles.
Teaching is an art more than it is a skill. Eleanor Roosevelt said you have to do the thing that you don't want to do, or the things that scare you. I think the number one thing that you can do to help your kid be successful beyond high school or wherever they're at is read. Let them see you as a reader, encourage them to read.
We have a collective commitment to make sure that every child graduates prepared for success beyond high school.
Because we have such a challenging population. there. We have students who are refugees. We have students who have come from many different backgrounds and cultures, different languages. They've lived through traumatic situations. You think about Shanna representing all of our teachers who work so hard. It just makes me especially proud as a principal.
Or even students who have a family history of gang violence, drug addiction. No matter what, she's able to take those students and bring them into a place where they feel safe.
What you do really matters, even though it doesn't seem like that someday, but it really does. And that's why I keep all of the notes and drawings and pictures of all of my former students, because I look at those and I think, that is why we do what we do.
What a great teacher. Now let's go to Louisiana Public Television. Students that are also in need in the Baton Rouge Youth Coalition. We're profiling Louisiana as a spotlight community this year to see the types of programs that are successful there, like this one. They just reached a record high 74.6% high school graduation rate, but they still lag a little bit behind the national rate. To learn more about the Baton Rouge Youth Coalition, we are joining our friends at Louisiana Public Television and Shauna Sanford. Shauna, welcome to American Graduate Day.
Thank you so much, Rahima. It is great to be part of American Graduate Day. And hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Sanford, and I'm excited to introduce you to an organization that uses the power of caring, consistent adults to move high-achieving, under-resourced high school students successfully through college. You know, even the brightest, most driven teens need constant support to navigate the college application process. Schools in the rest of the nation, those here in East Baton Rouge Parish don't have enough available personnel to help. The average counselor to student ratio is 1 to 300. But a group that is filling in the gap by providing consistent one-on-one assistance for high schoolers interested in earning a degree is one that started right here in Louisiana's capital city, the Baton Rouge Youth Coalition, also known as BRIC. And it is my pleasure to introduce you to two people who know personally how BRIC is building a strong foundation for success beyond high school. Please meet Lucas Spielfogel, he's BRIC's executive director, and Dominique Ricks, a BRIC alumnus, and now a middle school English teacher. Guys, it's great to have both of you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Dominique, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about what was going on in your life at the time that you joined BRIC.
What was going on was what happens a lot in a lot of American families. A lot of financial issues and a lot of personal issues. My mom was struggling a lot with dealing with alcoholism. My brother was in and out of the legal system, and my father was struggling to maintain his job because he was dealing with a lot of health issues, and his health insurance wasn't really covering things. So my brother got a lot of legal fees that really tied the family down, and my dad was really sick and in and out the hospital.
Yeah. And so in addition to going to school, you were also working, holding down a job to help provide for your family, right?
Yeah, actually I had two jobs back in high school. I did carpentry and bricklaying with my dad, and I worked at Sonic, and I even got overtime hours sometime during the school year.
But even with all that you were dealing with, were you determined to go to college? Was that on your radar?
It was one of those things that I always wanted and I knew I needed to do. But with what was going on in my family, it wasn't about excelling. It was about survival. So the thing that I had on my mind the entire time is, how do I get by this month? How does my family get by this week?
Yeah, and so how did you come to know about BRIC?
Actually, we had this amazing teacher come to my school, and he brought poetry to the school. I had no idea what poetry was, but he came to the school and he started a team, and I somehow found out about it. I auditioned and I made it on.
Wow, and that changed the course of your life?
Changed it completely. Like he gave me an art form, something I cared about, something I can pour myself into in a positive way. And when he decided he was leaving and he was going to start BRIC, he wanted me to come with him.
Yeah.
And it just started a relationship with an organization and with a person who helped change my life trajectory.
So Lucas, tell us more about BRIC and how you work to change students' lives.
Yeah, absolutely. So BRIC is not just interested in students getting into college. Obviously, that's a critical component and a critical goal. But the ultimate goal is ensuring that students are actually making it through college. And even more important than that, becoming productive and full participants in society, full adult participants. And so to do that, we take a whole person approach. And so there's kind of two realms in which that approach falls. So the first one is sort of the more like mechanical and technical and academic aspects of the program. So that looks like driving students forward academically. Even though they're already motivated, already doing well in their schools, it looks like providing them with extra tutoring. It looks like providing them with one-on-one coaching to determine their course loads. It looks like providing them with concrete resources like laptops and internet access. Also, it's ACT preparation, which in many ways determines their level of competitiveness for scholarships and for getting into college. And then it's also the mechanics of the college process. Each one of our students has a one-on-one college mentor who works with them hand in hand, step by step, through every single step of the college application process. But that's really just the first realm. The second and more important realm is BRIC's leadership program. And when I talk about leadership and BRIC, I don't mean necessarily students leading others, I really mean them leading their own lives and being really the change agents in their own lives. And so teaching students how to be self-advocates, teaching students how to navigate the very complex and nuanced demands they're going to face at the college level, that's really the crux and the secret sauce I think BRIC is known for.
So Dominique, I have to ask you, because you are a teacher, do you see yourself in a lot of your students?
In a lot of ways. I see some kids who are ahead like I was back in middle school, and I see a lot of kids who struggle with the same problems I faced. I've had kids whose parents struggle with substance abuse, some kids who just have financial problems, and some kids who just have my humor.
Yeah.
And it makes it really hard to maintain a classroom if they just make you want to laugh all the time. But
Well, I know that you are a poet, and that talent, slam poetry is your talent. I know that you have something prepared for us today. I want to give you a chance to go ahead and share that with us. Tell us a little bit about what this is about.
all right, so this is a poem that I wrote actually back when I was in high school. It was about how we place too much value on the wrong types of information, and it kind of misleads our kids into what they should be doing.
Go ahead.
This is street politics. You make it out you heaven sent. Our girls ain't celibate. Our girls just celibate. Our streets are paved with blood stains and dirty faces, dry tears and chalk lines, hopscotch for bullet cases. Never knew what love was, but realized what pain is. Choked by dope, don't give up what hope is. The young and the restless, the broke arrested, giving blacks 100 years for crimes confessed. Black on black crimes is code for genocide. The taking of black lives, the loss of black pride. We lost the dark side. Recovery, there's no time. Bullet shaking, body shaking towns. We wasting time and young lies, preaching lies and hating. Lyrics are like liquor for the fallen soldier. I feed my people rum by the case like Corona.
Wow, you are truly talented. Best of luck to you. Thank you so much, Lucas.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for spending time with us, for sharing your stories. Rahima, I'm really glad that we got the chance to share our Louisiana story, and I know there are lots of other great stories out there as well.
I'm glad about that too. Thank you so much. It was wonderful. From Louisiana, we're going to take you to a wonderful program in Huntsville, Alabama, called Merrimack's Hall's John Stallings Arts Program, where there are some incredible people working with students, including Billy Bob Thornton.
Our organization works with people who have special needs. We have about 500 children and adults who participate in our program of arts education. Being involved in the arts gives them, I think, a leg up on every aspect of their education and development and growth. And when I learned that children with special needs were routinely denied access to the same kind of arts education that their typical peers have access to, I just wanted to do something about that. And what started out as just a program that was intended to provide recreation and a creative outlet to people has turned into something that is truly having an incredible impact.
When I saw what they were doing here at Merrimack Hall, I wanted to help. And one of the great opportunities I had recently was doing the creative writing class with the special needs kids. And what's really cool about it is the way they start with, you give them like a topic or a subject, and the things that they come up with are so brilliant.
By putting people with special needs in an arts environment that's non-competitive and that encourages their own creativity to flourish, we're just seeing it make incredible strides for them in all sorts of physical and developmental ways.
When they teach dance here, they teach dance. They teach dance steps and moves. And they teach the children there's freedom. If you can't move, like Anna doesn't move her elbows, they're locked. So she uses her shoulders and she uses her wrists and she moves, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. And because she's had that freedom, it's amazing what these kids can do if allowed this kind of environment.
The only thing that limits people with special needs is the labels that we choose to give them.
And the great thing about everybody around Mary Mac Hall, which has become very dear to my heart, is the fact that they don't pretend here.
And they don't take the word can't. Can't is not a part of our vocabulary here. It's yes, you can do it, let's go, let's try.
And the people here at Merrimack know that, and they do it. Doesn't matter what comes up, they soldier on. And these are kids that don't need to be given up on.
You can be a champion of people with special needs. It doesn't take much. Befriend a person with special needs. Reach out to a family that has a child with special needs. They may learn a little differently than we do, may take them a little bit longer to learn something than it might us, but there's no difference between us and them.
Wow, yes you can to everyone at Merrimack Hall. Standing by here at Lincoln Center is Lauren Wonko, and she's going to continue our conversation about big brothers and big sisters with our big Daryl Blackburn and his not so little anymore, Jalen Dennis.
Daryl, thanks for coming back to us. Do you ever think what your life would be like without your bigs?
All the time. You know, it's such a great opportunity that I was given. And, you know, that's just what big brothers and big sisters. Are you kidding me?
Surprise! We flew in Barbara and Greg Pittman, Daryl's bigs. They're from Alaska.
How are you?
Good to see you again. Barbara, come over here. Come on over here. I know we have to maneuver. We've got a big family around here, but we're all together. Barbara, what is it like for you to be here right now and to be seeing Daryl for this lovely surprise? Look at him. He's getting emotional.
It's really amazing. We met Daryl about 18 years ago and just have begun to love him as our own. And to see him really continue what we started it's a blessing, really.
Daryl, you look like you're in shock.
Yeah, I don't know how y'all pulled this one off.
Surprise, we're really good at that.
I can't believe it. Look.
He credits you with so much, Barbara. The fact that he's an engineer, how does that make you feel?
It makes us really proud. We really initially started out thinking with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, what a great way to have a child in our life. We don't have children of our own, and I don't think we ever realized what impact we would have on his life, and certainly looking through this journey, the impact that you would have on our life. This is a wonderful opportunity.
How proud are you of him? What do you want to say to him right now? He's so successful. He has an amazing little here.
I love you.
I thought they were looking for dogs today. Like, what are we even doing right now?
You know what? I think it's time for something emotional from Little Kids Rock, because we need more time to talk. Excellent. And we'll let you guys play. What do you say? All right, Little Kids Rock, take it away.
Sound crazy, we're about to say. Yeah. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. Hot air balloon, I can go to space. With the air, baby, like I care, baby, by the way.
Hello again, I'm Hari Srinivasan. We've seen the difference a caring, consistent adult can make in a student's life. Joining us now is an organization you're all familiar with, Goodwill. You may not have heard about their program called Good Guides. It offers students ages 12 to 17 a mentor to help them stay in school and avoid things like delinquency and gangs. They also try to ensure that students at risk have the support they need at a critical time on their road to high school graduation. Joining me in the studio are Orby Rosario of Good Guides and his mentee, Hannah Strope. So first of all, Orby, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised to say Goodwill does this. So what does your program do, and what do you do inside it?
What we do through Good Guides, it's a mentoring program that we have for at-risk youth from ages 12 to 17. And what we do is we assure a successful high school career for them. We build a college exploration plan, but also a career plan. We assign a mentor to them, and with that mentor, we assure that they finish high school. But before they finish high school, we can get them a job, and also try to get them enrolled into college as soon as they finish high school or even prior.
I mean, ensuring that they finish high school, you say that so matter-of-factly, but that's a pretty complicated task.
Yeah, but with the motivation that we're able to provide, and also our statistics will show that since 2009, 85 to 90% of our youth graduate high school.
That's fantastic. So Hannah, what were the challenges that you were facing at the time when you signed into Good Guides?
The challenge I was facing was this was my fourth high school I've been to from my freshman year. At the time, I was in a place where I wanted to support my family more than go to school. And so I was kind of on the low, like didn't really want to finish school and didn't really care for it as much as I was supposed to.
So what did it do for you? What did Good Guides do for you?
Good Guides did a lot for me. They gave me motivation I never thought I could have in life. You know, I came from a family, I didn't have much support as emotionally supported. And from them, he gave me motivation to graduate high school because in 2014, I was in a car accident and I wanted to completely drop out.
He showed up at your hospital.
Yeah, he showed up at my hospital.
What did it mean that this guy who you know in a different context is showing up in your hospital room?
Honestly, I knew our bond that we had before, but I didn't know how strong it was till he came to the hospital. It was, what, 12 o'clock, I think, and I knew he has work in the morning. And when he showed up, my mom told me someone was out there, and I was like, who came? And then when he came, like, all I was like, Orby. And it was a great feeling, honestly, because I never had someone like that as a male figure either, in an extent. So it was a good experience for that.
Why was it important for you to go at that time in her life?
When I walk up to her bedside, she has the biggest smile.
Blood all over my face.
So that to me, sometimes she mentored me at that moment because it was a devastating accident, and to see her, smiling after it was a great experience for me.
So here you are in the hospital bed thinking, there's no way I want to finish school. I'm done with all this. I need to get back maybe to help my family. How did he convince you that staying on track and staying in school was
Because after a while, he just was like, no, you have to get up. You have to finish school. Do what you were supposed to do. Like, he motivated me a lot to do everything that I've accomplished.
And you drove her to school?
Yeah, because it was tough for her in the beginning, so I didn't see her after the accident much. And, when I started to follow up on her, she expressed her fears. So it was my motivation to help her overcome those fears, get back into school, get back on track, and she knocked out 8 classes in about 2.5 to 3 months. So it was worth the push.
So how has this changed your plans for the future?
Even as a kid, I never saw myself going to college, or even so graduating, being one of the first to graduate out of my family. I never seen myself doing that. And especially being in college and starting in August, I'm so excited because I'm the first to go to college.
So Orby, if you could make a pitch to other people to become Good Guides, why should they do it?
If you want to make a difference in somebody's life, I suggest, become a mentor. You can become part of the Good Guides mentoring program with us, and we train you how to work with at-risk youth. And we only require 4 hours a month, but those 4 hours a month make such a difference in a youth life.
So how important has Orby been to you?
Orby is very important in my life. There's not a day I don't go without talking to him, He's gave me that support that I never had, that support I never had from my own mom. So to have that support and to be able to have that motivation he gives me is something that's very important to me.
What's the most rewarding part of being a mentor?
Wow, the most rewarding part, seeing them graduate, when they get their driver's license. You see them get their first job, as I did with Hannah. We helped her get her first job. Seeing them move on to college, and seeing them overcome their own personal obstacles, that they might be little obstacles on the way towards graduation or towards a certain goal. And when you see them overcome those little obstacles, it's a great feeling.
Thanks to both of you for sharing your story. You see what a difference a mentor can make in a young person's life. Make a difference. Connect with Goodwill online to learn how you can support them in your community. Stay with us. We have more compelling stories about the importance of caring adults in every child's life.
American Graduate Day is a live, nationwide outreach event.
I'm Bob Dano, President and CEO of WCNY. Everyone here at WCNY is proud to be part of American Graduate Day. Together, let's make it happen.
Hey, what's up? It's Jason Derulo, and I'm so proud to be a part of American Graduate Day. I am an ambassador for VH1's Save the Music to keep music in today's schools. The hardest thing in the world was to wake up at 5 in the morning to go to school. But, you know, knowing that I had my music class second period, it just, you know, made things a little easier. You know, I had something to look forward to. There's something to be said about having a discipline. You know, whether it was me inside, you know, trying to play this simple recorder, or me inside trying to learn Mozart on the piano, it was both consuming my time and also challenging my mind. Music was always the main thing that kept me going. Going to music class, whether it was singing class or my piano classes, or, you know, even in elementary school when I was playing a recorder, it just gave me something to look forward to in school. So I feel like music has given me an outlet of creativity, and has built the man that I am today. Become an American Graduate Champion. I have.
Jason Derulo was lucky enough to have parents who believed in him and a performing arts school. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rahima Ellis. As we continue our discussion about the importance of the presence of caring, consistent adults in a student's life, let's take a look at an organization that helps to build youth through the building trade. The group is the ACE Mentor Program, the ACE being architecture, construction, and engineering. Joining me in the studio are Kevin Brown, a former ACE program participant and current construction manager at Urban Engineers in Philadelphia, and Raphael Scott, ACE program graduate and current college student. Welcome to both of you young men. Kevin, let me start with you. As I said, you were a participant in the program in high school. How did you find it, and how did it set you on the path that you are now?
Well, it's funny how I found it. I actually had a friend who told me about it, and he told me about the fact that they had free pizza. And so I joined just because of the free pizza and being with my friends. But after joining, I used to just like sit on the side and not really participate much. And then one of the mentors actually came over and said, you know, in order to get the most out of this program, you have to participate. So once I really got into it, I actually found out that was something that was of interest to me.
And what was of interest to you? Tell me, how does the program, help students to find out programs that they might not have ever considered without the program?
Because we actually put the students right there in the middle of everything. We give them tours of the volunteers' offices, so they're in the office of an architect or an engineer. We also do construction site tours as well, and they get to do the hands-on activities there, and that's how they determine if that's something they want to do.
It's wonderful. Raphael, it happened for you. Tell me, as your ACE program in Chicago, you actually got that hands-on building experience. Tell us, what did you do?
Well, my first year at ACE, I had the opportunity to visit one company called HNTB, and they were civil engineering. It was very interesting because I was still at the beginning stages of figuring out what I wanted to do for school. So when I went to go visit their office, they had a little activity for us to do. We had to build a house made out of paper and had to support it with a can. So just learning how to support a can, which is like 15 ounces, fluid ounces, on a piece of paper. It was interesting because I'm like, okay, let's think about this in a larger scale, buildings. How do buildings support thousands of people? So it was very interesting how HNTB laid that groundwork, or ACE laid that groundwork, just seeing just that one company, and also going around their building and looking at how different people interact with each other, how certain projects come together.
And your team was assigned a construction project, is that right? And what was that project that your team decided to build?
Well, this year, our team was picked to design a city park. So we had to pick a part in Chicago. It was right off the highway, a block over from the Sears Tower. So we had to design a park that was a multi-purpose park for the community, for dog owners, also for the kids who have schools in the area who didn't have a park or a gym to practice in. So we had to think about all these things and make a park that benefit the whole city in entirety.
We're going to let people take a look at exactly what it was that you were participating in. Let's take a look at this clip.
So we wanted to make sure that every building and the whole park in itself, in its entirety, tied in and flowed with nature. We did a survey and asked the people in the area that was walking by, what would you like to see at this open site? And they said a dog park.
It's good stuff. So how did your team do?
We did good. We came in first place. So it's very exciting. It's the most deep feeling that you can have, just sitting up there and just realizing that you came in first place. You put in 15 weeks of work, and just to sit up there in DC, look out to the crowd and they say, Chicago, Illinois, first place. And just look at people start clapping, your teammates with you, and they jump up for joy. You standing up there in shock, it was the best feeling in the world.
They say effort equals reward, nothing like being a winner. So now where do you go from here? What are your career plans?
Well, currently I'm going to Illinois to a technology, and I'm studying civil engineering. I plan on going in the same footsteps here as Kevin, going into majoring in civil engineering and then branching off to project management.
Fantastic. And Kevin, where you're working, they're so proud of what you're doing. I understand that they've established a $5,000 ACE student scholarship that's named after you. I don't know how much better you could feel about that.
Feels good. To be alive and have a scholarship named after you, it does feel good.
Yeah, did you ever imagine it would come to that?
No. I was laughing sitting out there earlier, just thinking about sitting there with the free pizza, going home with a box of pizza after the ACE meetings in high school. So never would have imagined.
Did pizza lead you to the ACE program too?
No.
Not exactly. I'm just wondering. But Kevin, tell me, now that you're a graduate of the ACE program, you're also a lead mentor in the Philadelphia affiliate. And what has it done for your life? How do you feel like ACE has not just led you to a career, but enhanced your life?
It actually helps me work with teams. That's what we do with the students. We have them working in teams. So I work a lot better with teams. I feel like I'm a better leader. I'm on the board now, so I feel like I'm a better leader. That's what ACE teaches you, to lead. So that's one of the big things. It gives you those soft skills that are aside from the technical engineering and construction and architecture. It gives you those soft skills of being able to talk to people and network and everything, all in this one package of ACE mentoring.
It's fantastic. Thank you both very, very much. It's really wonderful that both of them have found their career callings with the help of the ACE program. And thanks so much to both of you young men for sharing your stories with us. If your company is in the building trade, think about joining the ACE program or simply talk to a student about your career. Log on to americangraduate.org to learn more about how you too can help make a positive impact on young people in your community. In our next stories of champions, KLCS Los Angeles shines a light on the work of Lucretia Taylor McDonald. Lucretia faced her own hardships as a young girl and is now helping students in South Central LA through a program called A Place Called Home.
Here at A Place Called Home, she will leave no stone unturned to make a difference in these kids' lives. That's Lucretia.
When people think of South Central, they think of gang violence, they think of poverty, they think of poor schools, which are all true. The dropout rates in this area are, 50% in terms of graduating from high school, and even less are going to college. I think people would be most surprised to know that I grew up in the foster care system, that I didn't have the best home life.
Which allows her to identify with them, be accessible to them, and also inspire them.
I found a home in education, and education was extremely beneficial to me.
When I see Lucretia, I see that education can be for everyone. It doesn't have to be for a certain group, or anyone can get an education. I'm a Gates Millennium Scholarship winner. I'm going to UC Santa Cruz as a freshman.
Lucretia developed the college campus tour. And so what Lucretia has done is built systems that allow our children to thrive. She is a true visionary.
And A Place Called Home is here in order to alleviate some of those obstacles that our children face in school and at home and in their communities.
Thank you, Lucretia. There's probably no more comforting word in the English language than home, and you have made one for so many. Our next story is about an organization in Orlando, Florida called the Zebra Coalition. It works to help gay and transgender people who've been rejected by their family by giving them a new place to call home. They accept them for who they are, help them regain their self-respect, and provide scholarships so they can make a better life for themselves.
Dear past self, please stay focused in school and graduate. Don't allow your circumstances to cloud your mind from your education.
Gay and transgender students are 2 times less likely to finish high school or pursue a college education compared to the national average, due to life changes like family rejection and homelessness. The Zebra Coalition in Orlando, Florida is fighting to overcome this statistic.
Zebra Coalition's been around since 2010, serving the unique needs of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender youth across Central Florida, ages 13 to 24. So everything from medical services, residential facility for youth experiencing homelessness. We definitely see a lot of youth that come to our doors who have not graduated high school. And we have an education fund to help youth access education needs such as GED, career and technical, state college, four-year college as well.
Since 2010, almost 15,000 youth have been served by Zebra Coalition's Youth Center and outreach programs, and more than $30,000 have been offered in scholarships for LGBT+ youth to continue and finish their education.
By not having education, by not having your high school diploma or your GED, how that creates so many barriers in someone's life, whether it's going into the military, accessing jobs, of course, accessing higher education. And that's why we created our new education fund, because we saw that that created so many barriers for so many youth that we were serving here. And if we could just help with that piece and really meet that gap and fill that gap, that it could really assist someone on their journey much faster, you know, with everything else that we're providing.
The organization has provided a supportive environment for young people from all backgrounds and circumstances, like Nicole, who is a transgender woman.
Growing up was interesting. I never really showed anyone that I had that other side to me, or that I was a woman trapped in a man's body, and it was frustrating. I always felt like no one would understand me if I told them, so I acted out. Fighting. I dropped out of school. I just didn't really care. I think around like 17, I left home.
One of the #1 causes of dropout is the idea that students don't have a person for them, just one person, you know? Nobody's standing up for them when they currently are at this place where they don't know how to stand up for themselves.
When I first became homeless, I would always come up here and sometimes go on like these dating sites and contact guys. On a good day, I would probably have had sex with like 10 different people. I would feel like I was actually wanted. I knew I needed to get out, but I had no way to get out. And so that was my main goal, just getting help. I was tired of not being stable. I contacted one of my church friends, and they told me about the Zebra Coalition. Zebra Coalition is very important to me. I feel like I can get out of it and become stable, and I'm working towards that daily. Everyone has helped me out a lot, and they've pretty much given me a reason to stay focused. First, I want to get my GED. The GED or your high school diploma, those are like the keys to unlock everything.
Your focus has been incredible here, and I know that that's going to bring you great success. And I know even more so it's going to bring you great success as you go to get your GED. And so I'm really happy to say that we're going to give you that scholarship, and we're going to support you on that journey and whatever that next step is for you as well. So congratulations.
Thank
well deserved.
Thank you.
Many LGBT+ youth who have faced rejection like Denard know the value of education. They just need some support and assistance from a place like the Zebra Coalition.
Average day for me, before I found the Zebra Coalition, was not good. I identify myself as being gay, and my family in the church, they say that is abomination. I went through a time period where I was homeless, So I was jumping from place to place to place to place to place. I looked in the mirror and said, "No, this is gonna be a pattern, so you do need to reach out." Then I got in contact with a family member and she told me about the Zebra Coalition. And now I'm receiving therapy every week, case management appointments every week, groups every day, and I'm having a place to sleep. So it's really been a huge, huge, huge blessing. The best day of my life so far is when I found out I was getting a scholarship to Valencia Community College. When they offered me a scholarship at Valencia, the first thing to do was cry. Because I'm like, I just said in middle school and high school that I would never go to college. It's not for me, it's too long, you know, it's expensive, but this is a free ride to college, a scholarship. So I really felt blessed and honored. Not many kids get that kind of opportunity. Do not drop out of high school or college, continue education. You don't know what kind of power you have once you have that certificate saying you completed this, your diploma, you depleted this.
Young people like Nicole and Denard are finding hope through their mentorship and education from the Zebra Coalition.
It's very important to have a mentor and someone to look up to because you always need someone to guide you. So someone who's older than me that can teach me certain things about life because I'm trying to get where they are.
Zebra Coalition has taught me not to give up. I just want to live my life, live it right, and show other trans people that you can do this without having to sell your body and do drugs and prostitute and all of that stuff. You can actually get a real job and go to school.
The goal here at Zebra Coalition is that no matter what's going on with you, that you're able to come here, be welcomed with open arms, and you're gonna be accepted and loved and affirmed for who you are. And we're just gonna meet you where you're at and help you on whatever journey and whatever path you wanna go on in life.
We want to thank our friends at WUCF in Orlando for shining a light on another great local organization. Throughout the day, we've been talking about American Graduate Champions, people working with the organizations you'll see today who are making a difference in students' lives. As our second hour closes, we're proud to announce that the number of American Graduate Champions from the organizations we have profiled so far is 616,851. It's a remarkable number. I'm about to lose my breath just thinking about it. It's terrific. Now let's go to Lauren Wonko to meet a group she's been mentoring for several years. Lauren?
I am honored to serve as a mentor for the PBS NewsHour Student Reporting Labs at Phillips Academy Charter School in Newark, New Jersey. And last year, a number of those students were here on set with us. They brought their own camera equipment and they shot a behind-the-scenes special. And here's a look at their very own student-produced news story.
On a warm September morning, everyone from camera operators to TV hosts surrounded the Tisch WNET Studios in New York, just a few short hours before PBS's live 7-hour national program, American Graduate Day. The energy was exhilarating, and we were in the center of it all, working as correspondents from Phillips Academy Charter School in Newark, New Jersey, for the PBS NewsHour Student Reporting Labs.
Are you ever nervous before these big shows?
There's a good kind of nervous. We've planned this for a year. They've rehearsed it, but there's something about live TV you can never predict.
Nationwide, only 80% of high school students graduate on time. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting decided to take action.
And what we want to do is shine a spotlight on amazing organizations around the country who are doing amazing things every day to help kids get on the path and stay on the path to graduation.
There's nothing more important than education.
While on set, we got to talk with American Graduate Day host Wes Moore.
Being here with you guys who really epitomize the successes is just an absolute joy for me.
We couldn't help but smile after hearing that compliment. In the studio, there was so much going on, but behind the scenes, the TV crew was just as busy.
We are here in the control room in WNET, minutes before the live show.
4, 3, 2, 1. The show had begun. Back on the sheet, we were gearing up for a big moment. our live interview with our PBS NewsHour Student Reporting Labs mentor and American Graduate Day co-host Lauren Wanko.
Are you guys excited?
Definitely.
Are you excited?
Yes, totally.
All right, we've got to go so we can get on air in time. Bye, guys.
Mrs. Wanko helped to calm us down, but we were a bundle of nerves. Then our big moment arrived.
How is it like to mentor other children?
It's amazing. It's the best job in the world. It even beats this job.
After the interview, we had no idea why we'd been so nervous. With our newfound confidence, we headed back to the studio, where we now felt right at home. Hi, I'm Micah Anglin reporting from Tisch WNET PBS Studios, where most of the interviews have happened throughout American Graduate Day. We have lights, cameras over here. Along the way, we even spotted a few celebrities, like Elmo, and singer Andy Grammer, the ambassador to the VH1 Save the Music Foundation.
Why do you think this is very important?
I think it's really important. I think music in schools inspires kids.
And we were just as inspired to capture all this.
This is about getting students involved. And there's nothing more exciting to me than watching young people getting involved in television, which is what you're doing now.
There's no doubt, it's just as exciting for us too. For all of us at Phillips Academy Charter School in Newark, New Jersey, I'm Micah Anglin, and we are thrilled to be part of PBS NewsHour Student Reporting Labs.
I think that was a fabulous package, and I'm joined now by some of the students who did a lot of work on that. Adriana Brown and Kaylini Day, how are you guys?
I'm good, and you?
How is it? What's it like to be out of the classroom and here in the field?
It's really great. It's great to see everybody. It's great to see a professional, like all the lights, everything being out here in the real world.
Kaylani, what did you want to do before you found PBS NewsHour Student Reporting Labs?
I actually wanted to be a veterinarian, but now that I've seen all the camera work and editing, I found out that this is what I really want to do because I like to be around computers and cameras and do editing. So that's what I wanted to know.
What was the most challenging part about making that very incredible news package?
The most challenging part, I'd have to say, was deadlines and getting everything together on time. That was time limits were the most challenging part.
Your mentor gave you a really, really hard time on the deadlines. I know she was sending your teachers emails all the time to get it done, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And I want to give a personal shout out to some other students. Hi, guys. They're here and they're actually shooting the same thing that they did last year. Pressure's on. What are you going to do this year in terms of producing this package?
We can't, I don't think we do much different. We'll just improve everything that we did last year, try to make it better.
Try to make it better. What do you think?
I think we could try not to rush because I know last year it was like deadlines. The deadlines, you know, it was like kind of crazy. So I think we could try to do stuff in advance, try to be ready.
But that's the TV business, deadlines, deadlines, deadlines. And what do you want to do? Do you think you want to pursue a career in the TV industry?
I do. I hadn't had a job in mind for when I grow up. I like to dance, but that's not really long term. So I think journalism is really something I want to do.
Well, let's give you a shot in doing that. We are going to say, Little Kids Rock, take it away, because we are here in front of a rock band. So do you want to say that?
Sure.
All right, say it right to the camera.
Little Kids Rock, take it away.
As we've seen, a caring, consistent adult can profoundly improve a student's life. I'm Jane Pauley, and our next group's mentoring program supports middle school students. By recognizing a student's strengths, matching common interests, and a mentor's life experiences, the United Way is retaining, then accelerating students toward graduation. With us today are Iola Fortune, Director of Youth Success and Education, and Damon Bethay, Mentoring Project Director. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Iola, why pick middle school for the mentoring focus?
Research tells us and experience tells us that students mentally disengage. And so we know that if you track those 3 indicators, the ABCs. You look at students' attendance, you look at their behavior, and you look at their course performance. We can identify in middle school the kids who are most likely to drop out and not finish high school. We also know that adolescence is a time of rapid growth. It's probably the second most greatest period of rapid brain development in young people. They're challenging authority. They are developing a self-concept and their own identity. They are exploring new interests. It's the perfect time to help them explore careers. And most importantly, it's the perfect time to ensure that what they are learning in school is meaningful, is relevant, and connects to the real world outside of the school walls.
How does the mentor program, how's it work?
We get together and we start to plan with our 4 partners in Pittsburgh, and we recruit volunteer adults. So what we're doing is reaching out to the community in Pittsburgh saying, these students really need your help.
How do you make a good match?
What we do is we try to take the interest of the student and the interest of the mentor and try to match them based on that. So in Pittsburgh, with the Steelers being so popular, they may both like the Steelers, or they both may like the same movies or different hobbies. So trying to make sure that we utilize their interest as a way of gaining that foundation for them to begin to develop a relationship.
When do they get together and how often?
It's 45 minutes to an hour a week. There are some schools that meet during lunch, others after school. That mentor will go to the school every week, talk with that student, kind of do exploration of particular careers, talk about, whatever they want to talk about. Sometimes it's, their attendance, their grades. Even sometimes it's about life aspirations they have.
Middle school's full of adults. Why does this kid want to see another one?
Well, there are some students we have who come from large families, and so this caring adult might be the only person that sort of gives them that one-to-one attention.
Oh, it's your mine.
Yeah.
You're here for me.
Yes. So it's exciting for them to come and know that that adult is going to be there for them for that time. And also, too, I think for the young people, it helps them to feel like there is somebody in addition to family and others in their community that are really there for them, supporting them, cheering them on during this rapid growth point in their lives.
Iola, what was your first reaction when you saw the Be a Mentor program in action?
Sure. So I had the great opportunity to visit with Damon and to visit some of the schools where the program is in action. And my reaction was how engaged the young people were, the mentees with their mentors. And that takes a lot of work. It may have seemed effortless when you're in the room and in the moment, but I know that the United Way of Allegheny County has worked very hard with their school partners, their community organizations, and their corporate partners to pull that off.
Damon, is there someone who is thinking about being a mentor and wondering what advice would you give them?
I would say do it. I would say that because I think really the value that people, the experience that they have, the value that they bring to the experience is something that many middle school students could treasure. And I think that exposing young people to anyone is really a key. And I
know it's valuable. Yeah. I know it's important. But someone else would do it so much better. That's the thought, that you've got to close the deal and take that valuable potential volunteer and make them say yes.
It's taking a moment to look at yourself, to look at all of the various people in your own life who have given you direction, support, and guidance. And I think that it's really helping you to figure out, okay, I can do this because of the fact that many people have invested in me, and someone else needs me now to invest in them. And so it's about taking a moment to think about that and to think about all the things that you've experienced and continue that cycle of mentoring, that cycle of investment in a young person's life.
It's important work, and I'm grateful that you do it.
Thank you so much.
And thank you both. Being a middle school student can be real tough. Damon, Iola, and the United Way and Upbeat Mentors are helping middle schoolers find their way to and through high school, one genuine relationship at a time. You too can volunteer, help at a school, or open the minds of a middle schooler. Stay with us as the American Graduate Day conversation continues.
American Graduate Day is alive nationwide outreach event.